Today we're going to attempt to plant this big box tree. Hey guys, my name's Brad. I'm a gardener here in Northeast Ohio, Zone 6B, and this is the wonderful Pung Japanese maple that Iseli sent out to us. A gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous statement plant. I am so grateful to all the plants that we got from Iseli. This was a big one on my list that I wanted. I'm sorry, I've got something in my eye here. It's messing with me. Okay. So this is a Zone 5 hardy Japanese maple comes out bright red when it first comes out and then mellows to like a burgundy and then turns fire engine red again in the fall. Stunning. This beautiful cut leaf on it that looks like little talons, raptor talons. Grows 6 to 12 inches per year, so not a fast grower, which is why I chose it for this spot, and we'll get into that in a second, with an overall height of 15 foot tall and 12 foot wide. Now, in this spot, I have about 6 feet of clearance to my kitchen window. And why would I plant a tree in front of the kitchen window? Well, I wanted something pretty to look at when I'm looking out the window. We like watching the birds, so, they'll be in here, they'll be messing around. Maybe we'll get a nest or something in the future. But also, this specific maple's cut leaves will contrast so beautifully with our oakleaf hydrangea dwarfs here. These are munchkins. So they're only going to get about 3 to 4 foot tall, which are about the height and wide. So that these are getting close to relatively full grown. We also have some Japanese forest grass already tucked in here and some maidenhair ferns on the outside, which I'm thinking I might add maybe a couple more into this section and maybe even up the Japanese forest grass. But my plan for this year as well is to underplant it with coleus to bring a glow up underneath of it and then draw your eye into, there's going to be no drawing your eye up. We're not that high off the ground, but at the same time, this is already such a beauty that it's going to pop off the house and just command attention. This echoes the bonfire peach tree that I already have on the opposite side of the path. So it's creating an echo, which then echoes again to the red plum tree that I have out front as well. And then we also have a small black smoke bush over here on the other side of my front porch. There's stuff that you don't see, but it creates that color echo. And I am a person that will put in red and purple and black plants a vast amount and not even think twice that they need to be centerpieces. I find these to be such a neutral color in my palette because I do jewel tones that they just go in the garden, and I will literally plant so much. Actually, speaking of that, I have some Dark Side of the Moon Astilbe actually in this section of the garden as well. So it's bringing that color echo again and that drama and depth, which I really, really love. So first things first, obviously, this is a box. I've never planted a box before. Kate at Hello Garden, I believe, just snipped the bands around this, and it should just fall open. I'm hoping. If not, I've got a crowbar. I've got my Organic Mechanics planting compost. I've also got some biotone. And what you didn't see is I pre-dug the hole. And I'm not sure that it's big enough, but I'm praying it is. So this is going to be an easy transition. We're just going to see how much I goof with the box. Let's get to planting. Isn't she beautiful? Okay, so a few thoughts. She's perfect. I love everything about her. Uh, really fills the space up wonderfully. I kind of wish I would have done one more turn on this, just so that this was the back, but I am not lifting this back out. Two, I planted it high, and I know that seems dramatic, but I do live by the plant it high so it doesn't die, and the fact that this area does have a relatively um, good soil to it, but also within about a foot, I start hitting a little bit of our clay, which creates a pool. So though most of this will absorb and, take the watershed away from it, I wanted to ensure that it was up high enough because Japanese maples do like a good drainage. Plus the potting medium that they use in their containers, most every nursery at this point, all of it does break down over time. So this is going to settle in a bit. And I'm always cautious of the root flare. I don't see a root flare on this one. Doesn't mean it doesn't have one. Every tree and shrub has one. But this will allow that compost and the dirt and the potting medium to slowly degrade away and expose that root flare, and it'll be perfectly fine. The other thing that I'm thinking about, I maybe you noticed it when I was doing some of this. I'm thinking I may come through this. There's a section right here and a couple little like lowers that I'm debating on taking out. But if I took out this particular section, we'd be losing that much. So I think the only thing I'm going to do is maybe cut back a little bit of this stuff. That way, some of the small branches to lift up the canopy. That way I can plant some other stuff around here. That way it's all seen. But look at the contrast between the oak leaves that are just leafing out. This one gets a little more sun than this one. And then the kind of cloa grass below it. I think I need another one there, which I'm sure I could take from over there and put it in. And then if we decide to limb this up a little bit, some other goodies tucked in there. She is stunning, okay? Absolutely stunning. I'm gonna go grab some snips and we're just gonna take off a little bit on the undercarriage and see how we feel about it. Okay, so I'm standing off camera, just kind of like looking. I know it doesn't look like it really needs anything now that I'm looking back. It's a little bit more to my left that I just want to take a little bit back and be very selective. Okay, I'm gonna dive in here. Okay, I think that's it. Literally, I did very little. Nobody come for me. Though now that I'm looking at it straight on, it needs just a smidgen on the right. Just a smidgen. Because now it looks off balance. And I don't know why. This particular branch is bothering me. How does it look? Oh God. Did I do it wrong? Okay, that looks good. I like it. Let's move on. All right, so we are going to plant our next Japanese maple. Now, this is Northwind maple from the Jack Frost collection. This one comes out a red during the spring, transitions to a green during summer, and then it gets red and orange during the fall. This is particularly bred for zones 4. It has handled Iowa testing grounds where it survived like negative 30 degrees. This is going to get, what was it again? 20 by 15. So this particular area is part shade, which it can handle full sun to part shade. Like all maples, good draining soil, but it does like even moisture, which is pretty easy. I find Japanese maples pretty easy here, nonetheless. And it's got larger leaves, and I like it because it's kind of like, I think it's palmate leaves. You can see here, and the new growth is coming in, and it's giving some of that orange new growth into it, which is really, really pretty as it continues. It also gets pink samarians, so when it's green during the summer, you'll have the pink samarians come out on it. And this one will be going right here in this container. Now, this is a really large container. This one's from DIY Cartel. It's a 24 by 24 by 24. You assemble it yourself, so limited packaging in it. And what I have done with this large container is I've already filled up quite a bit of it, but I left it because I didn't know what size container I was going to get with this Northwind. This is a 6-gallon, I believe. I'll show you here in a moment. But the rest of it I do need to fill up. Now, I've got some soil from the hole we just dug for Pung Kill. And I'm going to go in with the Organic Mechanics planting compost, mix some of that in, and then we're going to backfill and around this maple into this hole. I'm also going to do some biotone, and I've already, if you remember, we already filled these containers, kind of topped them off. There's already a layer of compost in here that will get it started as well. So she should put on a decent amount of growth this year. So let's dive into this. I'm really excited to finally get her in the container because she might have fallen over a couple times in the wind while we were waiting. I don't know if I said this really as instructions or anything, but when you're doing the topsoil in a container, you're adding the compost blend to it to lighten it. And this is just for larger containers or for like raised beds. That's what this Organic Mechanics is specifically used for. It'll show you right on the thing. It'll say planting mix, compost blend, and what it does. So like raised beds, soil amendment, and for any containers roughly about like 200 gallons is what they say. And you want to do about a 10-to-1 ratio. 10 of the topsoil and 1 part of your compost. And then I just added in the biotone just as extra security to get it going. There's actually a number of things that are already in the compost, like some biochars mixed in. You also already have like a mycorrhizae bed in there as well, but it doesn't hurt to have more. And guys, this is the last thing. A little sneak peek. We have been working on the path, and we have gotten the thrush in. We've concreted the first set of stone in. We had one we just decided not to use and added 2 instead. We've got some of the edging in to start a gravel pathway, and we're going to be working on the next section. This place is a disaster. There's been a lot of soil that's been moved. And now we're competing with rain. So tomorrow's supposed to be a spotty day of rain. We'll see, but we're going to start working on the next big area, which is the biggest area, which is our where the bench sits. And then from there, we have some math and engineering to do, which I love getting creative, but it also, I worry I overthink. But I wanted to give you some update and show you we're going to be out here soon and planting, and it's going to look so good. All right, guys. Thank you so much for spending the day with me, seeing these new Japanese maples, checking out the progress of the side garden. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.